How's it going, everybody? It's SuperRacoonAnime here, and today I am back with another live stream, and I am going to speak to one of the voice actors from, the English voice actors from Tomo-chan Is a Girl. I just started watching it when my friend recommended it to me, and when I watched it, at first, it was a good impression. It was a good start, how it started, and suddenly it really surprised my expectations, but that's not what I'm here to say about. I might make a review about it maybe next time, but I'm not doing a review. We're gonna talk to one of the English voice actors who is the voice of Tomo, and that is Lexi Nieto.
Hi!
Say hello to only two people watching.
Hey, that's great. We're grooving. We're having a
Yeah,
great time.
yeah. So we're just gonna hang out and talk what we think about the show and what we might bring in, what we like to share. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy it. But yeah, so let's check out some questions that we could check
Sure.
out. Let's see. Could you tell us about your journey into theater and voice acting and how you landed the role of Tomo-chan?
Yeah, absolutely. I started doing theater very, very young. I auditioned for my first play when I was in the fourth grade. We were doing Beauty and the Beast at school, and that was my first time I ever auditioned for anything. And then I was a feather duster only in Be Our Guest, but it was so fun and so great. Um, and then I just did school plays every year, not really thinking that it was gonna like be anything. I just had fun doing it. And I really liked singing, and I also at the time really liked. Well, I still do. I really liked drawing and doing like graphic arts and stuff. And because people were not very nice to me about singing and acting and performing, but people were very nice to me about my drawings, I thought that that's what I needed to do. I was going to be an artist, and I was going to, make comics or whatever. And then I took one art class in my freshman year of high school, and I said, I cannot be an artist. I cannot do this as my career. As soon as other people tell me what to draw, I don't want to draw anymore. I want to draw my favorite characters. I want to draw my little fan art, whatever.
I thought you were going to
And
say pony for a second.
huh?
I thought you were going to say pony for a second.
Nah, I was never me. I would see it from afar, but that was never me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I continued doing just like stuff through school, and then I started doing community theater when I was in high school. And by the end of my high school career, I was like, I think this is what I would like to do. I think this is where I fit the best based on my personality and how my brain works and where I feel the most happy. And then so I went to college for musical theater, and it's still my favorite thing to do. I feel like doing stage shows and singing is where I really shine the best. As for voiceover, I've been a huge fan of English dubs since I was like 13 years old, like with Oran High School Host Club and Soul Eater were my two that really got me into the world of dub actors. And I ended up watching more voice actor panels on YouTube than I did actual anime. And I would only go to the conventions based on who was going to be the guest. I would only go to the voice actor panels. Like that was it for me. Um, so when COVID happened and everything shut down and I didn't really have any live performance opportunities anymore, I found myself reverting back to watching all this anime and then sinking back into that brain from when I was 13 of like being like, that's this person and they voice this character and this character and this person and this person and doing that whole puzzle in my head. And I was like, oh shoot, I now have the skill set to where I could probably do that. Like I could probably at least like throw my hat in the ringer and see what happens. So my roommate and
Mm-hmm.
I moved to Dallas in 2021 and just came out here to meet people and see what happens. And then specifically with Tomo, that was a very special situation because eventually I was lucky enough to work with Caitlin Glass, who's our director, on another project called Taktopi Destiny, where I played Valkyrie. And I was doing some other bits and stuff for another project she was working on. And she, after that session, asked me if I'd be interested in doing this project because she had been tasked with casting for the trailer that came out at Anime Expo back in July. So she was like, they asked me to cast this main character. We need to get it done ASAP. And then are you free in January in case this moves forward? And like, whatever happens, if we switch directors or if we switch, directions or whatever, just, I want to make sure that if this is still around and I am still in charge, I would like you to do this. Would you be open and available for doing this? So it was a very special situation. I didn't have to audition. It was just because she knew me and she knew what I sounded like. And she thought that my energy would be good for this character. So it's a very, very, very special and lucky situation for sure.
Wow. Yeah, so it really makes sense of how you trying to at least do something other than just theater, because ever since COVID happened, it's just been difficult. Lots of
It
things
was tough,
changes.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Thankfully, I've
and
gotten back into
yeah,
it, but it was tough for a while. Yeah.
yeah, like some of us might felt much more impact, and it's just how 2020 might have changed a lot of our lives and how many things have ended. But
Hmm.
we're still trying to at least move forward of what we're trying to do with our lives and how we're still trying to stick together. But it's hard to do when we just change this much, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, let's see what is seeing something in the chat. So far, we have this. Tomo-chan is one of the best animes of winter
Oh, thank you
2023
for
season.
saying that. That's
Yeah.
very kind of you to say. I mean, I'm very biased, so I'm like, yeah, you're right, but I
Oh, yeah, yeah. So what I understood so far of how it's not only focused on only the character of Tomo, but really brings in the other characters that were involving in Tomo's
absolutely.
life. Like, it is really genius, especially how it was the character that's Carol. How did they do it? Like, I thought she just, oh, she's just a pure angel, but then suddenly we understand that she's not an angel. She's just someone who has feelings, and then
Hmm.
seeing her into a vulnerable state, I felt, what? I was
Yeah,
shocked.
right.
Like, I'm not easily persuaded, but I felt shocked of how they just put it together, and seeing her
Yeah.
in a vulnerable state, it just seems it seems shocking to me, and
Yeah,
it's kind of,
absolutely.
yeah. And let's see, how did she manage to fucking break a 3DS like only in 2 minutes when she was a kid?
She's very strong.
Wow.
She can't help
All
it. She
right.
doesn't know her own power.
Yeah, and also the delivery into episode uh 12 of how you said you just shared it again ever since the first episode. You just felt like you had to force it out just to bring out your feelings, but suddenly it's been denied. But then saying it again in episode 12 just really bring the home of how you really feel about it. You just felt giddy, and you just don't feel awkward anymore. You just really spell how you feel for this person, and guess what? And you get in return, he fall down the stairs. That is actually, this is my favorite episode, and
Oh,
that's
it's
my
so
favorite
I
scene.
think it might be my favorite too. I really do.
Yeah,
That that last like 5 minutes or so is probably my favorite. That's probably my favorite in the whole show.
yeah, I really enjoyed it. And guess what? When I was watching when June was like a tree in maybe episode 11, guess what I remembered? He said this. Ah, I'm falling and I can't get up.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that was done on purpose because that's so funny, and that's so like
This
I'm sure that Rico thought that was hilarious too.
Rico, what? Oh my god, dude! I'm too nostalgic for that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me just check out the next question.
Sure.
Which scene or
Oh,
episode from the show has been your favorite to record, and why?
I it's so hard to not say the end of episode 12 because that was such like obviously it's such an important moment. I don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't watched it, but it really might be my favorite scene in the whole show just cuz it's so sweet but it's still so true to the characters. It doesn't feel like it's taken this turn and you're like this came out of nowhere. This doesn't fit. It's so right. It's so fitting and it's still so silly, but it made my tummy hurt when we recorded it because it was just so sweet and it made me so excited. But it was so good. Um,
Oh,
yeah, it's so hard not to say that because it was just so sweet. And also I adore Rico so much. I'll say it forever. And he's a very good friend of mine. I'm lucky enough to say. So getting to do that opposite him is it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
yeah. Yeah, you two just really bring much more life into these characters. How you really bring in that understanding of their bond. Like, yes, they are evolving, but they can't just throw away what they have for ever since they were children, like ever
Hmm.
since their childhood. And it actually kind of makes sense. You don't need to set aside of your old bond, how you used to, like how you found with each other and how you been best friends. But suddenly
Hmm.
you can't just throw away what you had as special.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's crazy. So, how do you balance staying faithful to the Japanese voice version of the character and while bringing your own touch to the performance?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard not to because when we record, we hear the Japanese immediately before doing it ourselves, so we can get an idea of what the timing is like and how to fit it within the mouth flaps because it's already animated. Um, and it's inevitably going to be me because I'm not very good. I don't think at like doing voices per se. So I'll read the words and then I'll have an idea in my head, but then I'll hear how it's done in the Japanese, and then so inevitably it just becomes a mesh of the two of what I already had in my head and what was done in Japanese. And a lot of the times it's the same as how I read it is exactly how she says it. So it's very useful just to have that reference literally right before we go. So just in case my read is a little bit too in one direction, but sometimes we will do something different than in the Japanese because it'll be up to Caitlin at the end of the day. So if she feels that something would work a little bit better than what was done in the Japanese, that's what we'll end up going with.
Mm. Interesting. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Can't just always replicate the original voice, but really bring your own positive vibe of bringing your own identity of a performance. Like
exactly.
Like sometimes with sub and dub voices with sub watchers, they tend to think they're the same people because of how they tend to want to keep the same thing relevant.
Yeah.
Because yes, you want to be at least similar, but it doesn't always work out because sometimes people want to bring in their own identity, what they added their performance,
Absolutely.
And sometimes whenever like someone posts a dub clip, they keep saying, you cringe, so that like I understand, like I did see some few cringe moments from other animes that have odd dubs. I understand that, but there at least it's not like how I say it. How you say it? It was Kimba the White Lion, English dub.
Oh, vintage. We're going back in the day.
Yeah. I just found out about the Kimba, and then suddenly, I found the Kimba, and then I saw the dub. It was so stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
It's just old school.
Yeah, unlike Dragon Ball Z. All right, let's see. What do we got next? How do you approach recording lines for comedic moments versus more serious or emotional scenes?
Yeah, I can tell you easy. The comedic moments take no prep because it's just how I talk. I naturally just lean towards being silly and be like just quick pace and go and be funny. But for the emotional scenes, we had to talk about it a little bit more and really make sure that we were giving it the grace that it deserves and making sure we hit all the beats and not like, making any moments that are actually very important, selling them or like throwing them to the side and not really giving, like I said, not really giving them the attention they need. Because while a lot of stuff could be seen as like, oh, that's silly, why would she say that? She's really like having a hard time. She's really going through it. She's really thinking about these things and making tough decisions. So we did take a lot more time on the scenes that weren't just kind of silly, and I don't want to say nothing was throwaway because everything is intentional and everything, because God bless Caitlin Glass, she's brilliant at what she does. But yeah, we did take a lot more time on the like confession scenes and stuff like that.
Yep, I'm pretty sure that you practice in your room.
Well, I don't get the lines ahead of time, so unfortunately I don't have the luxury of being able to rehearse. But yeah, we would do a couple goes in the booth for sure.
That's awesome. Oh yeah, we got a question from Laser Danger.
Great.
Question for Lexi. If Tomo-chan had a Twitter account, what would her bio be?
I feel like it'd be just like a bunch of like punching emojis or something with like fire. But also it'd be like, let's hang out, because she loves to make friends and she's very kind, but she also it would probably, I feel like it'd just be a bunch of emojis. So like it'd be like smiley faces, but also punching emojis, but also like the karate, like a karate uniform, but also like I don't know. I feel like it would be something like that. Just be a bunch of emojis.
Yeah. All right, let's see another one. What has been your most positive experience with the show and its fandom?
Oh, that's so tough because it's all been just unbelievable. Oh man. I mean, just people's responses have been very kind, and seeing that people have like really identified with the character and has helped them through, or like, they feel seen by the character, is just that's just amazing to hear in any, in any case. um it's so hard to pick just like one most thing. It was amazing to be able to meet Sally, who's the voice of Carol in both Japanese and English. That was just like a crazy thing that happened.
That's
um
insane. Like I was shocked when I read the comments, and then I found it out. Like what?
yeah.
Like this is the has this happened before? Or is
It
this the
has.
first
It
time thing?
has. It has
Oh
happened before. I didn't realize, but it has happened a couple times before. No, obviously, not very often, but it has happened a handful of times before. Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
that's insane.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And she was so kind. She was so nice. She was so funny. It was so cool. It was so cool.
Yeah, is that it for the question or?
Ah. I don't. It's just everything has been ridiculous. Like this being my first experience as as the title character of an anime is. I cannot put into words how lucky I am for this to be my first experience, and just it's just amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing that you were given a chance to be one of the main leads in the show, and
Absolutely.
really bring out how you just like the blurt out of "you pathetic asshole." Oh my god, that was really good. You really had to bring it out there.
Yeah, man, but that's just me. So it's it's fun to yell. I love that I am able to yell, and people are like, "Wow, she really brought it." I'm like, I just yell all the time.
Yeah, and do you actually sing well? Is that what I heard?
I do enjoy singing. Yes, that is what I went to school for.
Okay. Let's hope it's actually true. Not something you have to actually be bad at singing in the show.
It was fun though. It was fun to play like that. It's just silly. I love to be able to do that.
Oh my god. Uh, I've been thinking of an idea like how you actually voicing again, but actually saying the lyrics of the children's songs and say it perfectly. Yeah, it'd be insane to just compare it like to this from then to now. That'd be funny. All right, and I kind of researched about how the show might turn out. Do you think there might be a second season?
The manga's only 8 volumes, and the show has covered everything in the manga.
Yeah,
So unless they like suddenly decided they wanted to do some OVAs of some scenes that they might have skipped over for the animation, but I would be the last person to know. But I would love for that to be a thing, because any more time that I can spend with these characters, I would sign me up. I'm ready.
yeah. So, yeah. So when did you find out that this is the length of the manga, that this is like the complete version, and now we're about to get to like the final chapters into the 13th and final maybe episode of the
Hmm.
Tomo-chan? Like when did you find out? Like when exactly?
Oh, I mean, the manga's been done for years, so we knew, the story. And I think I didn't particularly, because it's like, it's a lot of, backstage stuff, or like, under wraps things. So I don't really remember when I knew, but I knew it was going to be short because the manga was short. Um, so probably when we started recording, because we started recording back in October. So I knew it wasn't going to be a long running thing, because the manga is only 8 volumes and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was surprised when I just researched how many chapters they did, and then suddenly when I found out that this is gonna be the final chapters into episode 13 of the anime, I was shocked, but actually kind of relieved, like in the same time, because if it really went way too long and it kind of loses its magic, it might have become stale. Of what
Yeah.
if they just do it much more episodes? It just seems unnecessary. So maybe
Hmm.
making it into 13 episodes only for the show, I think it actually really stands where it is. It's just that
Yeah.
I just felt like there could have been more. I wanted to see much more, but it would just be dragging and just really give its like, like just really much more overextending its formula.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'm thinking how it ends on 13 episodes and how the whole show might be done. I think I'm glad that it didn't want to do that too much. So
Sure.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but Tomo-chan, a brilliant show. How I understood it, I got myself some laughs, and then suddenly, when I was watching, one of my brothers, which is like, Hey, so did everyone think of her as a boy, or it's just him? And then something he keeps asking these questions like, I don't know, dude. I just got into the show. Okay, I just got into the show, and wow, yeah. So the show was really fun, and sometimes it gets a little bit whoa, yeah, pretty fun. All right, let's see, what do we get? What does this mean? Singing related question.
Oh, it's probably whatever was commented above that. Let's see.
Really?
Oh, I don't know.
I have no idea. It's not in the chat. I have no idea what they're talking about anymore.
That's okay.
Oh wait, never mind. I think I found it. Thank you for answering my question. Speaking of singing related question, if Tomo-chan was a musical, which characters
Ooh.
would have a best would have best the best duet?
This is a
June and
great.
Tomo. June
I
and
mean,
Tomo, obviously.
biased. I would love to say that because I would love to sing with Rico anytime, all day, every day. But I also think Carol singing with anyone would be hysterical. I think that Tanabe trying to sing with Misuzu would be hysterical. Like, I mean, shoot, you could just put anybody with anybody, and I think it'd be a riot because the character dynamics are all so funny. Or like Mifune and Ogawa singing a song, like like a diss track to somebody else in the class. Like that'd be so funny. Yeah, I don't know whose would be the best. That there's so many that would be so funny. We would have to like create like a whole story. Like what would the song be about? What's the situation? What are they going to sing about? It'd be so funny.
Yeah, that would be really really funny. Yeah, that's an interesting question.
Yeah, that was a good one. Thank you for that one. That's fun to think about. I'm gonna have to like write that down, like really flesh it out.
Yeah, let's see. What can I think about? He what? Hold on. Someone has a request. I made a English cover of Kuraita
Oh,
Tachi.
nice.
I wanted Lexi to listen to it.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Thanks for saying that. That's great. That's the opening
Maybe.
theme for the show.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah,
Well, that's crazy.
that's
Maybe
awesome.
maybe we should check it out. But first, let me just set this up, and maybe we'll see. But yeah, let's see. What can I think about? Oh yeah, I just noticed that the development of June of how he used to like I don't know like fucking abuse senpai sensei or something. Like he just like he's being like fucking
Oh, very
evil at him.
protective with Misaki. Yes, yes.
Yeah, protective. He's like, hey bro, how you been? Yeah, it just Rika really brings in such a vibe how he just don't fuck with me or I'll ruin your life.
Oh yeah, he's going through it. It's okay.
I'm so sorry. But I'm glad in the somewhere in episode 12 how you just managed to develop it through.
Yeah, very sweet.
Yeah.